welcome back. So today we are in the second session of AL Coding Carnival. So we are going to see how to create a factorial calculator using AL programming. So the ultimate aim of this particular series is what to understand various techniques, like various concepts, like condition, using if condition, loops, where to use loops and how that loops are working, and how to use the procedure, how to pass the parameter to the procedure, and how to get back the data from the procedure back. And we'll be trying to enhance the code little more, and we will just start with the basic coding, and then we will try to enhance that with some more functions like error or something, and we will be doing that. Okay, so this is what a factorial calculator you can see here. So what is actually a factorial calculator? Let us think about it. So if you give 2 2 factorial, which means 1 into 2. Okay, 2 into 1, which means that 2 into 1 is equal to 2. Okay, this should be the answer. And if you take 5 factorial, then you can think about 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Okay, it is like multiplication where you'll be getting 120 will be the result. So this is what actually factorial. So the factorial should be a non-negative integer, the product of a positive integer less than or equal to n. So you can go ahead with 12 factorial, 100 factorial, so anything. But 100 factorial means what? 100 into 99 into 98 into 97 into 96 into, like that, it should do that. Okay, so for this, what I'm going to do is what? This is the number. You can see that this is the number. So once if I enter the value in the number, okay, so once if I am entering the value into the number, this particular value will be passed into the procedure. I'll be creating a procedure. So this number will be passed into the procedure, and that calculation will be happening, that is the factorial calculation will be happening in the procedure. And once the result will be sent back to the normal coding, and your result will be displayed here. Okay, and when this will be calculated, when I click this action button. Okay, so this is what the overall idea behind it. So come, let's code it. So you have to open page factorial. So you have to open AL code, okay, where we'll be writing the code here. So let us start with T page, which is the page snippet, and I'm going to give the ID as 50101, because for the previous for the previous page I have given 50100. So here I'm not going to store it in any table. So I'm just going to factorial calculator. So I'm not going to store in any table. If you want to store it in any table, you have to give the source table, and you have to create the table beforehand. Okay, so I'm just deleting it. Let us go to we have to create 2 things, right? So here you can see you need 2 fields, number and factorial. So let us give here number and factorial. Let us create that variable first. Okay, so the first one will be number, integer, factorial, as well as that is also integer, because you have to display both number and integer, number and factorial value as an integer. So let us go to the area display field. Okay, so here you have to bring that number. So whatever the other additional things, you have to bring that. So application area is equal to all should be there, and the tooltip should be enter the number to calculate the factorial value. So if you want to give the description, so here the tooltip will be like this. So if you click this, so this is what, if you want to print something like this, you have to write this in the tooltip. Okay, so the tooltip is what the property in a page where you can display additional information. Okay, and then if you see you have if you want to go with caption, Then you can write a caption here, which is like number to calculate. So what is that caption? Once if you click that caption, once you create that caption, instead of simply number here, you can see number to calculate. Okay, so that is what the caption. So if you want to give any additional fields like show mandatory is equal to true, so they have to give the number, like they have to enter the value here. Show mandatory is equal to true, you have to give properly. So additionally, if you wanted to give something like blank 0, okay, whether you can allow zeros or not, you can just go ahead with the blank 0. If you want to go with anything else, the like description, properties, you can do that. So as of now, for this particular field, I don't want any additional property, so I'm just going with the second field. Okay, so the T field. So in this field property, I'm going to display what? I'm going to display the factorial. So factorial value, you can see here that there I wanted to display what? I wanted to display the I wanted to display the result. Okay, there I don't want to do any changes. So application area is equal to all. So if you want to display something like tooltip, you can go ahead. If you want to go with the caption, you can do that. Okay, and this you have to keep in mind, editable is equal to false. Editable is equal to false if you want to make this uneditable. Okay, this is what the factorial field. And if you don't want to do any changes, like any users who is going to use your code, if they should not do any changes, then you should go ahead with editable is equal to false. Okay, so I have given here editable is equal to false. Additionally, if you want to go with something, you can write it. Then let us come to the action. So before we come to the action, okay, the action, you can name it as calculate. Okay, calculate factorial. Okay, so in the last session, we wrote sum of digits program where we have written the logic in a code unit, and also I showed you how to write it in the actions itself. Okay, so here we are going to write the procedure in the page itself. We are not going to write it separately in the code unit. Okay, and on action, let us just keep this because we have to write the procedure. So let us come to the procedure. So the procedure, you have to write it here. Okay, just start with tree procedure. Once you type tree procedure, you can see it's a local procedure. So you can either go with a local procedure, or if you wanted to make this as a global one, then leave it, then delete the local. Then I wanted to compute the factorial, so I'm just going to give compute factorial. Okay, and I wanted to get the number which is entered in the number field. Okay, so I wanted to type what? Number colon integer. So here it is not mandatory that you have, it is good if you just use the same thing. Okay, same field name. So here I am passing the number. Yes, it's good to pass it, and in turn I'm going to return this as an integer. Okay, the value will be sent back as an integer, so I'm just giving colon integer. Okay, here you have to tell what is the data type name, and what is the variable name, and what is the data type here. Okay, and then how you are going to return it back. Like I'm going to return as an integer as well, so you have to give that one, and you should not end with the semicolon. Okay, and then this is, I'm going to create a local variable. So why you should create a local variable? If you wanted to use those variables only when the procedure is called, then you will be creating a local variable. Okay, so I'm going to create two local variable called result. One is a result, which will be the integer, and the second one is the I. Usually we will be creating an I value, right? Loop. If you want to go through the loop, we'll be creating the procedure like this. And inside the begin and end, I'm going to first go with a simple statement. So first one is what? See, if you are entering the if you are entering the value as 1, then it should print only 1 factorial, which means 1, right? Only 1 factorial. It should be 1. So I don't want to go with any loop if the value is only 1. So for that, I'll be writing the very first if condition. So if number is less than or equal to 1, okay, then the result should be then you should exit 1. Okay, you should exit 1, which means that what, if you use this exit, this particular value will be sent to this integer, in turn this will be sent to this result. Okay, so that we will be writing it here. So the exit should be 1. You have to exit with the 1, exit, and then we will be writing result colon is equal to 1. Okay, where the result will be 1. So this is if condition. So we have given the first one, which is if the number is less than or equal to 1, then you should send the result as 1. You should assign the result as 1. So in AL code, here we are learning this one, right? Exit is used to return the value from the procedure. Okay, it will return the value from the procedure. So here it will return value 1. Okay, so this is what we have done so far. Let us just proceed with creating the next step of thing. So next is, if it is not 1, if it is 2, okay, then what it should do. So for I colon equal to 1, so this I'm just using it for what, for the position of the number. Okay, to I colon 1, like I is equal to 1 to number do. So what you have to do, you have to multiply the result to I. So what it is actually happening, I will tell you. For example, if you are entering the value as 2, okay, now what, the value of result is 1. So here you should see the value of result is actually 1. You are assigning the value as 1. Then I is equal to 1. You are also assigning the value as 1. I value as 1. Okay, to number in the sense what, to your number is 2. Okay, do. So what it will do, it will store the result value. Okay, result is equal to, what is the actually value for result here, it's 1, and the value of I is also 1. So 1 into 1 will be 1. Okay, now the result value is 1, then it will go to the for loop condition. So I is equal to 1, and then what it is happening actually, it is now the result value will be 1. It will go to the number, it will check for the number 2, and then it will come inside. So now the value of result is 1, and the value of I is what, 2. Okay, it will increment, and you will get what, 2 into 1 is also 2. Okay, so it will just go back, and then it will print the result. So finally, once the execution is over, then your value will be 2. Okay, I will show this with a visual indication. Okay, so let us have the same thing, like compute factorial is your pair procedure, where we are going to visualize what is happening actually. So once if you execute the code, so your procedure will be waiting to get the data from the number field. Okay, so you will be entering, like once if you enter the value, okay, I'm just entering the value 2. Once if you enter the value, your number will be assigned to 2, and then what it will do, it will go and call the compute factorial. Okay, then it will check for whether the number is less than or equal to 1. No, it is not less than or equal to 1. Then it will go to the next step. What is the next step here? It's the result is equal to 1, right? So what it will do, it will store the result is equal to 1, and then now the value of I is also 1. So what happens, it will calculate the value and then now the value of I will be 2, because while using, what is the purpose of using for I is equal to 1 do, automatically it will do the increment. Okay, so now the value of I will be 2, so the result is also 2, so 2 into 1 will be 2. Okay, so your result will also be true, 2. Now what will happen, here you are actually trying to send the result back. Okay, you have to send the result, right? So after this result, you have to exit result. Okay, you have to exit the result, you have to send the result back to that. So this is what the simple calculation. So let us just visualize, what if you are going to use 5 factorial or something, so the return value will be 2. Okay, let us, it will print the return value in the factorial field. Okay, so if you go to 5, so what happens if you go to 5, if you just execute the 5? Let us try to visualize that as well. What happens, as usual, when you call your procedure, then the procedure will be expecting, you have to enter the number in your field. Okay, the first step is you have to enter the number into the field, and you have to call the action, you have to click that action. So you have to enter here 12 or something. Let us go with 5. Okay, 5, and then you have to go here and click the calculate factorial field. So what will it will do, it will pass the number, and then what it will happen, okay, so the number will be assigned of the, it will hold the value 5. Okay, 5 will be in the number variable. Now this 5 will be sent to the compute factorial procedure. This 5 here, you can see that this is sent to the factorial procedure. Okay, and then what happens, now the calculation begins. It will check for if the number is less than or equal to 1, no, then it will go to the next one, it will assign the value of result is equal to 1, and it will do the calculation I is equal to 1. Then it will compute the value, it will store the value 1 into 1 is equal to 1 to the result, and then I will be incremented to 2. 2 into 1 will be 2, and then next will be calculated 3. 3 into 2 will be 6, and then it will calculate the next one. So the value of I will be 4. 4 into 6 will be 24, and then the value of I will be 5. 5 into 24 is equal to 120. And you don't have, the range is completed, it is number, you are checking the value with number, which is 5. Okay, so you have to then it will be printing the value in the result field. So in our case, it will be printing the value in the factorial. For that, we have to send the value using the exit statement. Okay, that's all. That is what we have done here. So here you can see 5, and then if I click on this calculate factorial, you can find the output in the factorial field. Now, so this is the one which we have added. So now if I wanted to enter some other data, so you have to go and delete it. So 12, and you have to go to the actions, click on the factorial, so it will give you the output. So I need one more action button, where if I click that, it should make everything as 0. Okay, that is to clear button. It's very simple. I wanted to add a clear button. So let us just add one more procedure here. You have to add one more procedure, T procedure, and delete this local and everything, and make it as clear data. So here what I'm going to do is, what in the clear you are going to make, once the clear is called, you have to make the number as 0, and as well as the factorial as 0. Okay, so where you will be calling this, you have to add one more action in your page. So go to the actions. So this is what the actions portion. So you have to go to this place, and in the trigger on action, you have to create one more action. Okay, this is first action, which is calculate factorial. I'm going to create an okay, so we have created this procedure, right? We'll be calling these two procedures here. Okay, so the first procedure is what you have to do, this trigger on action, and the begin statement you have to write factorial colon is equal to compute factorial. So why I'm giving this factorial colon, because this, when I click on this action, in which field this procedure should execute. Okay, in my factorial field this procedure should execute. That is why I'm writing that action, and I'm storing the value. I'm just trying to execute the procedure in the factorial field. Okay, so if you want to do this in your number field, then you have to write it in the number field. Got it? Let us create another action. So once this action is completed, you have to go to the next action, action clear. Okay, I'm just clear data, and then I'm just going to open and close the parenthesis. Application area is equal to all, and then if you want to do something else like caption, clear data, if you wanted to go with the tooltip, okay, so all these things you can do it. So clear data, let me just go ahead with this. Okay, so here you should call the clear data. Okay, this is the clear data procedure. So why I'm not writing specifically in any field, because I don't want to execute this in the field. It should be reflected in both the fields. Okay, that is why I'm giving like this. Okay, so let us save this and execute this code and see like how it is actually working. Let it open. Okay, it will take some time. Okay, so let me come, let it come here. So it will take a little time to execute this code. So you can find the code here. Yes, it is available. So let us wait for that. So I think in the launch.json I haven't changed the ID. So this is 1050101, but here it is 50100. Okay, we have to search for that. Okay, so it will open sum of digits. Let us go and search for it. So if you want to search and if you want to bring it here from the search, then you have to use application area is equal to all. Okay, factorial calculator. So let us try this. I'm giving 12, and if I click on this action calculate factorial, you can see this, and if I click this clear data, you can see that both the number field and the factorial field are changing to 0. Okay, now the important thing which I told you is what the number should be greater than 1. That is a positive number, right? So even if someone, the user who are trying to enter the value which are less than 0, like -1 or something, you should not accept it. So we have to write the code accordingly. So if you want to write the code, where you have to do, you don't want to write the procedure there and call it back, because it's a normal default validation for that specific field. So the number field, you can directly go to the number field. Okay, in this number field, this is what the number field we have been using. So if you have any logic, so you should understand one thing. So if you have any logic, and if you may change the logic, like business logic or anything, you should either write it in the procedure or you should write it either in the code unit. Okay, imagine you don't have the logic, but if you wanted to implement some validation in the direct field itself, you have to write it in the field trigger. Okay, this is the field, and we are going to write that in the field trigger itself. Okay, just press enter. So here for every field you have trigger. Got it? So here you have to write t trigger on what and validate. Okay, on validate, what you're going to validate here. I'm not going to assign any integer, but I wanted to validate what I wanted to validate the value. This value should be greater than 0. Okay, if I'm going to start with if number is less than 0, then what you have to go with, you have to display the error message. So error is a function, it will display a error message. number must be greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so what is the difference between error and a message? So message function will display the information and you can easily close that, but error message is what you have to change the value. Until then it will not, it won't accept the value. So we are just validating this. For example, even if you wanted to set the limit, like if the person should not enter more than 100 or 1000, you can set that limit as well here. If number is greater than or equal to 101, then error must be less than 101. So this is the validation which you have to write it in the field. Okay, let us execute this and see how it is actually working, and then we will stop it right here. Okay, so these are all the simple changes which you can write it. You have to decide where to write what. Okay, where to write the logic, where to write the validation, and whether if you might be in the future, if you are supposed to change the validations, then you can write it in the code unit and bring it back. Okay, so it all depends on how you are planning to create it. So if I'm giving -1, okay, okay, because the integer value, it will be accepting only, okay, it's showing sum of digits, I'm sorry. Let me just take factorial. Okay, factorial calculator. So I'm just giving -1, so it is showing number must be greater than or equal to 0. So you cannot come out of this error until you enter the proper value. Okay, so if I give 6, you can go to the next position, and even if I enter 101, it will throw me an error. Okay, number should not be less than, number should not be more than 100. So this is what the basic next step of validation you can give it for that particular field. So I hope you found something useful in this. So through this factorial program, we have learned how to use the if condition, error function, how to create a procedure inside your page or anywhere. This is applicable anywhere, like whatever the object where the procedures are possible. So how you can write it, how to create a parameter, how to pass an argument, how to send the result back from the procedure. Okay, everything you can see here, and how you can clear the data. So we have discussed all these things. So probably in the next session we'll be discussing even more program, like we'll be discussing in another program. Probably we can take Fibonacci series, where we will learn how to create a Fibonacci series using AL coding. So if you have any other suggestions, please leave that in the comment. I'll be happy to help you. I invite you to join my exclusive Microsoft Learn Room, where I will guide you through essential skills, offer insights into the certifications, and provide invaluable resources to boost your career. And of course, I'll be providing you 50% Microsoft exam voucher when you join and actively participate in all the sessions. So yes, here I can tell you why you should join my learning room. It's like you will learn applied skills. Okay, so you can gain practical knowledge and hands-on experience with Microsoft technologies. Get expert guide advice on preparing for the achieving Microsoft certification, and you will receive 50% exam voucher as well. So once you join my learning room. So here is how to join. I'll be explaining you through how to join. So this is the link where I'll give this link in the description. Okay, so you can find various learning room. You can just join wherever which interests you. Okay, so this is my learning room. If you just scroll down, you can see, yes, so this is Microsoft Tech Talks. You can find it here. So you can see, if you wanted to learn on any certifications, how to go through the certifications and everything, you can join here. So how to join? Just click this particular link. Okay, so Microsoft Tech Talks is my learning room, Microsoft Learning Room. So once if you click here, it will take you through a form. So you have to fill that form, and you will get the response within 24 to 48 working hours. Okay, so you have to give your email address, give the proper email address through which you have to join. Okay, so I can just give some email address. This is not exactly, I'm not going to submit it. Okay, so I'm just giving an email address. Okay, so you have to you can enter the email address which is associated with your Microsoft Learn account. Okay, so it should be like which is associated with the Microsoft Learn account. Okay, so I'm just giving this, and then you can see what is your first name. So you have to give your first name, you have to give the last name, and click next. Okay, so yes, so you have to give the proper ID, click next, it will take you to the next one. You have pre-selected join Microsoft Tech Talks. Would you like to select more? So if you want to select anything else, you know, you have already clicked here and right clicked, and you are trying to join our learning room. So if you want to select anything more, you can just click S, or else you can click no. Okay, if you click S, you can see various other learning room as well. So this is also this is also one of the learning room which I am a part of it. Okay, so you can click here to join here as well. If you want to join anything else, you can click there and then click next. You know, next it will ask you like how did you become aware and or get invited. So you can click this invited by Learn Expert. Okay, so next you can click next, and then by clicking I accept, so you are allowed to. This is the last step. Click I accept and submit. Then you will be allowed inside into the learning room within 1 or 2 working days. So please wait till that. Okay, once you have joined, then you can just ping me that you have joined. You will be you can message through the Teams itself. Okay, so you will be provided with a Teams channel link, so you can message me through that, and then just let me know. I'll give you my 50% off, and you have to tell me which exam you are planning to do and what is your preparation level, and also you should tell me when you are going to write the exam. So that is very important, so that I can provide you this particular a voucher. Okay, so do this before scheduling, at least like do this before one week of time gap. Okay, because before you schedule, so you have to do these process before a week you schedule your exam. Okay, so that anyhow it will take 1 or 2 days to get you in the Microsoft Learning Room, and then we'll be talking, and you have to tell me like these things, like when are you planning to do and everything. Then I can provide you these things. Okay, so as I wanted to see you all soon in my learning room, those who are really aspiring to become a Microsoft professional. Okay, you can do this. So what you can expect from our learning room is what interactive session covering a range of Microsoft technologies, real world applications and case studies, networking opportunities with peers and industry experts, regular quizzes and activities to reinforce learning. Okay, so complete the form available in the learning room mention. So once you have joined, you have to contact us. Okay, don't miss the opportunity to accelerate your learning journey and achieve your certification goals. Join our learning room now and take the first step towards a bright future. Thank you. I want to see you soon. Take care.